Hello everyone, and welcome to my bold and the beautiful spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. All that you want to be aware. You might see that little Will Spencer on The Strong and the Wonderful is looking somewhat more adult, and totally unique. That is on the grounds that Group Morrow, indeed, the child of the youthful and the fretful star Joshua Morrow ventured into the job of Bill and Katie's child on. He took over for kid entertainer Finnegan George, who played Will, from August 2018 until January 2020. Already, the job of Katie's son was played by Zane Aker, Heather Tom's genuine child with spouse James Aker. Katie Logan and Bill Spencer were joyfully hitched when she became pregnant, yet she almost passed on conveying her child since her heart, relocated from her late sibling, Tempest Logan, was so frail. Following the troublesome birth, Katie experienced post-pregnancy anxiety and momentarily deserted her child. She then almost passed on again when she quit taking her enemy of dismissal medicine. At the point when Katie and Bill at last split up, Will was at the focal point of a severe guardianship fight. Will was excessively youthful to comprehend the reason why his mom was investing such a lot of energy with his stepbrother, Wyatt Spencer, yet when he was somewhat more established, he realized that his dad was overlooking him to invest time with Steffy Forrester. Bill didn't battle when Katie petitioned for sole authority of their child. Afterward, Will was alright when Katie wedded Thorne Forrester, yet additionally started fixing his relationship with Bill. The strong and the lovely Bill, Will Katie. Will's attempts at matchmaking didn't exactly work out. Howard Wise /PaStudios.com. After Katie and Thorne separated, Will needed his folks back together and even took his dad's visa to pay for a few costly dates for them. Fortunately, when Bill and Katie found out, they thought it was adorable and didn't rebuff him too gravely. Will was concerned when his mom experienced kidney disappointment, however fortunately a giver was carved out an opportunity and his was the primary face Katie saw when she awakened from a medical procedure. Will was likewise present at Bill's office at Spencer Distributions when the family met with Flo Fulton to offer their thanks for giving her kidney. Bill and Katie attempted to sort out things yet in the end concluded they expected to let Will know that they were isolating once more, however it occurred behind the scenes. Will wasn't seen for a couple of years, however it was referenced that he was away at all-inclusive school. At last, in August 2024, Will returned home to stroll in on his dad with Poppy Nozawa and attempted to acknowledge the new lady in Bill's life, and the way that their little girl, Luna Nozawa, was his sister. Will was a lot more joyful to rejoin with his mom and picked to live with Katie as opposed to at his dad's. Like his mom, Will was dubious of how helpfully Poppy and Luna had become piece of the Spencer family, yet felt terrible for his father when it worked out that Luna had faked the paternity test and the situation was a trick. BNB Will Electra. Will was immediately attracted to the exquisite Electra. Howard Wise /PaStudios.com. Will likewise selected to function as an understudy at Forrester with his mom rather than for his dad at Spencer Distributions, however the wealth of pretty models helped impact his choice. He immediately became stricken with Electra Forrester, who was employed as a right hand on the resuscitated adornments line, however was additionally worried about her hesitance to discuss herself and her past. All that you want to be aware of Will Spencer on. Will Spencer, the child of Katie Logan and Bill Spencer, has grown up before watchers' eyes, with his storyline developing into one of interest, tragedy, and, surprisingly, a hint of sentiment. Here is a profound plunge into Will's travel on the striking and the delightful, from his emotional birth to his latest snares. Will's story started with show even before he was conceived. Katie Logan and Bill Spencer were joyfully hitched when Katie became pregnant, yet the pregnancy put her life in grave peril because of her powerless heart, a transfer from her late sibling Tempest Logan. After almost losing her life during labor, Katie experienced post-pregnancy anxiety and briefly deserted her child. Afterward, she confronted another dangerous panic when she quit taking her enemy of dismissal medicine. After Katie and Bill's marriage went to pieces, Will turned into the focal point of a severe guardianship fight. Bill's disregard, deciding to invest energy with Steffy Forrester over his child, left Will feeling deserted. Katie at last won sole care, however, Will started patching his relationship with his dad over the long run. At the point when Katie wedded Thorne Forrester, Will was at first fine with the plan. Notwithstanding, his matchmaking impulses kicked in after their separation, as he attempted to rejoin his folks. His boldest move? Taking Bill's MasterCard to design lavish dates for Katie and Bill. Albeit the arrangement didn't work, his folks tracked down his endeavors delightful and let him free. Well-being alarms and developing torments. Will confronted inner unrest when Katie experienced kidney disappointment. He was feeling better and thrilled when she got a kidney relocate from Flo Fulton, and his strong presence was a feature of those profound scenes. Growing up and live-in school. As Will became older, he invested energy away at live-in school. While off-screen for a considerable length of time, his non-attendance was made sense of as him zeroing in on his examinations. His return in August 2024 was set apart by a sensational win, strolling in on his dad, Bill, with Poppy Nozawa. Much seriously surprising, Will discovered that Luna Nozawa, Poppy's girl, was probably his stepsister, a case later uncovered to be a trick organized by Luna. Get back to LA and fresh starts. Will's revisitation of Los Angeles accompanied choices about his future. Selecting to function as an understudy at Forrester Manifestations close by his mom as opposed to at his dad's Spencer Distributions, Will wound up encompassed by the appeal of Forrester's breathtaking world. His advantage wasn't simply in the business, it likewise reached out to the delightful and confounding Electra Forrester. A maturing sentiment. Will immediately became fascinated with Electra, who had been recruited to help with Forrester's resuscitated adornments line. In spite of his fascination, he was unable to disregard her baffling hesitance to examine her past. His anxiety and interest in her experience alluded to future entanglements in their relationship. Will Spencer's storyline on the strong and the wonderful keeps on advancing, with his connections and profession decisions making way for more show. Whether he's exploring privileged bits of information, working environment elements, or maturing sentiment, Will has developed into a convincing person with vast opportunities for what's in store. Continue to watch to perceive how Might's process unfurls, particularly as he digs further into Electra's past and wrestles with his family's continuous difficulties. Will Spencer was naturally introduced to the cleanser's richest and most powerful families, the Spencers and Logans, guaranteeing show all along. His introduction to the world was a critical occasion, celebrated by his folks, Bill and Katie, however their turbulent relationship would establish the vibe for a lot of his young life. Katie's pregnancy with Will came after a progression of well-being panics and inner difficulties. She had battled with post-birth anxiety after Will's introduction to the world, which made extra pressure in her union with Bill. Notwithstanding this, Will was a splendid spot in Katie's life and an image of her adoration for Bill during their more promising times. The show encompassing Will's everyday life has generally molded his storylines on B&B. His dad, Bill Spencer Jr., is an infamous financial specialist with a propensity for control and shows of dominance, while his mom, Katie Logan, is more grounded however battles with her own uncertainties and medical problems. Will has frequently been trapped in the crossfire of his folks' contentions, including Bill's unfaithfulness. Bill's extramarital issue with Brooke Logan, Katie's sister, made an enormous break in his marriage, prompting their possible separation. Will turned into an essential issue of dispute as they explored co-nurturing. Guardianship fight. Katie and Bill's conflict over how to raise Will prompted a sensational care fight. Katie, worried about Bill's disregard and conceited way of behaving, battled for sole care. Regardless of Bill's endeavors to demonstrate he was a dedicated dad, Katie won, however the circumstance stressed their relationship further. After some time, Bill attempted to fix his relationship with Will. He put forth coordinated attempts to show he could be a mindful, cherishing father, venturing to such an extreme as to focus on Will over his transactions. These minutes relaxed Bill's hard edges and provided fans with a brief look at his more sympathetic side. Will turned into a critical inspiration for Bill to work on his way of behaving, however his intrinsic defects frequently re-emerged. Katie has forever been savagely defensive of Will, frequently making penances to guarantee his satisfaction and prosperity. Indeed, even as Katie sought after associations with different men, including Thorne Forrester and Carter Walton, her emphasis stayed on establishing a steady climate for Will. Her well-being battles, including a heart relocate, have likewise impacted her nurturing style, as she endeavors to be available for her child notwithstanding her own difficulties. As a kid, Will is depicted as brilliant, inquisitive, and instinctive. He is profoundly cherished by the two his folks, who need the best for him regardless of their imperfections and clashes. Will has likewise shown areas of strength with his stepbrothers, Liam and Wyatt, who offer extra help and direction in his life. Fans frequently comment on Will's capability to develop into a key part in the Spencer family line, continuing in the strides of his dad and granddad. Holding with charge, the absolute most contacting scenes include Bill and Will getting to know one another, Bill's milder side to feature. In spite of his business-arranged nature, Bill frequently takes extraordinary measures to cause Will to feel esteemed and adored. Kin elements. Will's associations with Liam and Wyatt have been endearing, as the two more seasoned siblings embrace their part in directing their more youthful kin through the high points and low points of being a Spencer. Katie's battles. Will has frequently been a wellspring of solidarity for Katie during her most difficult minutes, for example, her fight with post-birth anxiety and her medical problems. However, Will has fundamentally been a foundation character as of late. Fans guess that he could assume a more huge part as he becomes older. As the most youthful individual from the Spencer family, Will could acquire the intricacies of his family's heritage, venturing into a noticeable job in the show encompassing Spencer distributions and the continuous family competitions. Will's appearances have been irregular as the show has zeroed in on different characters and storylines. Nonetheless, his presence stays a sign of the persevering through association among Bill and Katie. Fans are anxious to perceive how Mike's story will advance, particularly as he becomes older and turns out to be more mindful of his family's perplexing elements. Will Spencer might in any case be youthful, yet his future on the striking and the lovely holds vast opportunities for show, sentiment, and interest, guaranteeing he stays a fundamental piece of the cleanser's heritage.